Well, the time is almost upon us. The live action Masters of the Universe movie is coming out later this week, and I could not be more excited. I've been holding off talking about the newest, well, the last final trailer and all the many featurettes that came out and the posters and the coverage and all that. I wanted to wait till we were closer so that I could kind of just go through all of it. So that's what this video is going to be about. I've been a lifelong Masters of the Universe fan since I was a kid in the 80s, like many my age. Had a great selection of toys, and more recently, the video you're watching right now is a Masters of the Universe virtual pinball game that I worked on for a long time that I released. And so I'm absolutely the perfect person for this movie. So everything I've been seeing has got me super excited. So let's just go through and talk about all of it. This movie looks like it's going to be an absolute blast for anyone. You don't have to be a Masters Universe fan. So let's just dive into some of the content here. All right, so let's watch that final trailer. Man, now I'm feeling old. Love how they're making that music work, like the classic,
When you hold the magic
classic
sword,
music.
what do you say?
We got the sorceress now, finally.
By the power of Grayskull.
Go on.
Hell yeah!
Now you're ready.
She looks great. Deadpool's girlfriend.
It seems the prodigal prince has returned. I am a devil, but I mean to be a god.
Looks so great.
What am I supposed to do?
You are he who will restore peace to Eternia.
Gorgeous.
Skeletor took my
Look
family,
at this.
and he destroyed our world. I'm gonna fight for it.
This is so awesome. Sky sled. Rotons.
Mechanic.
Yeah.
And Ram Man.
I love it.
Hell yeah!
And you, Fisto!
Yeah.
Mr. Allen! It's Adam, dude.
Hey, put your neck away.
Tila looking badass.
Power looks like.
Our time for talk is over.
Can you come help me with this? Whoa.
It is quite heavy, so if you
Oh,
could just...
oh my god, yeah.
Battle Cat. Yes, we finally saw him. There you go. It just like everything you could ever want for the classic 80s show and bits of other series along the line, like, for the 2000 series, the 80s, obviously. And I'm not sure about the newer Netflix series, if we're going to see kind of anything rolled in from there. But the other old 80s live action, we got a little bit thrown in there as well. And of course, the comics and just all sorts of different things are being thrown into this movie. So there's something for everyone. And yeah, man, I am super excited about this. Let's just kind of go through some details like I like to do here. We'll kind of go quickly here. See, I love this look of the castle with the altar there for the sword. And they made the sword perfect replica of like the 80s style. That looks fantastic. And I love his mount on the back there. Like, that's really cool, the way they've done that. And that visual of him getting the power. And the sorceress, she looks great. Like, instead of having her literally wearing an actual, like, feather outfit and feathered wing cape, with an actual bird head, they kind of, made it more into, like, a normal dress with the same colors. And instead of her, having just a feathered body with bare legs, they kind of just made it a full gown. And then you have the orange and the blue on the whole back part of the dress. And I like the headpiece, how it has kind of like a, the beak with the crystal there. Like, it's a nice kind of adaptation. I think she looks great. And yeah, this action looks so much better compared to the first bits we've seen. The visuals of Eternia just looks fantastic, man. It really does. Skeletor looks great. Snake Mountain's perfect, and he's obviously got King Randor's crown there. Trap jaw, I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect, and they over accentuated his nose just like he had in the cartoons and everything like that. I mean, it looks perfect, man. It looks great. Like they really stuck to the spirit of the original characters here. As far as I love that. So you got Zora there, the sorceress, when she takes form. If they go by the original '80s cartoon, she has to change into that if she wants to leave the castle. I'm guessing they're sticking to that, But the look of Eternia is perfect, man. So much color, just like in the original cartoon. And the monsters, the villains, they all look really, really good. And then the Skelenites or Skell Knights, and an updated Sky Sled and Rotons, but they have new features now, which is pretty cool. Mechanic, they, obviously extended him a lot more, literally. Ram Man's doing his thing, man. Like, they're not shying away from the original character's abilities, which is great. The looks and their abilities. I love it, man. Yeah. And they're certainly not shying away from the camp, like, not camp in a almost really bad way like the original. Oh, I want to go back there. Like the old Flash. They're embracing the Flash Gordon of the '80s kind of vibe, but a little not quite as bad camp in that way, but a more non-cheese camp, like more of a fun camp, if that makes sense. Like it's very self-aware. It's totally embracing the silliness of the original cartoon, but also taking it seriously at the same time. So I'm really looking forward to how they're gonna go through all of this. But yeah, and everyone's got guns finally. Because in '80s cartoons they weren't allowed to shoot people or have people get killed or actually injured. In that, it's ridiculous. They'd have these very adult like themes on kids' cartoons, whether it was G.I. Joe or Masters of the Universe or Thundercats or, like, but then they would never allow them to actually do anything. It was just ridiculous combination weird thinking back then. Okay, so I love this, how Tila's looking. So, because people were wondering, oh, her hair's all down. Doesn't she have the headpiece? There you go. When we first see her early in the movie, she's going to have that headpiece, and she's probably going to lose it and then have her hair down for the rest of the movie. But yeah, she's looking badass, twirling. I assume it's a rifle. I think. Unless it's they've integrated it as a staff, but no, it's a rifle. It looks like it's a rifle, yeah. It looks like she's blasting Beastman, is my guess. Yeah, it looks like it. But yeah, and I look at it, man. The irons of the big ass rocket launcher, like that's awesome. I love it, man. And he looks great. Like like I think he looks great. He doesn't have to have unrealistic, gigantic muscles. Like he's extremely fit. He's just ripped. Like he absolutely looks the part. Like a young He-Man. You know what I mean? I think this is great. I personally think it all looks great. All right, so there you go. All right, so that's the final trailer there. So there's been a lot that's come out since then. So now I just want to kind of take a look at a lot of the posters that they shared, and these look amazing. I love it. So you've got Battle Cat here. That was our first kind of look. These are obviously kind of like accentuated, almost like a painted look to look more like a poster instead of more of a realistic look, right? But we have a good look at what Battle Cat's going to look like, right? And then there's Beastman. Like, damn, look at that, eh? Like, that's kind of freaky. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect, but look at him. I mean, he's looking pretty sinister. Not just a bumbling, goofy, fool like he was in the original cartoon. He's probably still going to probably have some of that, but he looks like a menace, like something to actually be afraid of, and the details are great. They have his little chest medallion, and then his upper fur like that, and they got his, the arm pieces with the big horns on him and all that. Like, so yeah, he looks perfect, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. Man at Arms, like, I mean, this outfit is perfect. You got the green still, you got the goldish look, but it's well worn from obviously being in battle. And, for this story, that's the case, right? They're not just they're not free, right? There's obviously some war torn wear and tear going on there, and I like that this chess piece they didn't have it super stuck out because that did kind of look a bit silly. It's fine for cartoons and figures and all that, but for practical, yeah, I'm glad they kind of held that back a little bit. But he's got guns, you know what I mean? He's got rocket launchers, like he's got weapons. He's the man at arms, so it's great. He's a badass. He's got his classic mace, like this is great. Like this is exactly what we want, And the actor was perfect for it. Yes, some people are going to be real assholes about it because oh my goodness, he looks different. We obviously know why. It doesn't matter. In this case, for that character, it's not relevant. We just needed him to be the good, strong presence for Man at Arms, and that's exactly what this actor is perfect for. So, and he got the mustache, which the original toy did not have the mustache, So all you purists out there can kiss it because clearly there's some differences no matter what you do. Now this Goatman, this is hilarious. Excuse me, sorry. This is not really someone you saw in any of the cartoons. This is a character from I think one of the comics. I do believe. I didn't know about this character until the movie came out. So even I'm learning a lot about some of these obscure characters, right? And he's being played. I don't know the guy's name, but the Mountain. The guy who played the Mountain in Game of Thrones, massive man, just an absolutely massive human being, And this looks hilarious and crazy and creepy at the same time. This is great, man. I love this. Now Skeletor, I mean, perfect, man. Perfect, he's blue. He's wearing a purple outfit. He's got the red eyes, which we didn't get in the older cartoons, but we did get in the newer Netflix cartoon. But, he's exactly the skull. He is Skeletor. He's got his Havoc staff. Looks great, man. Looks fantastic, it's a little bit different than, not having the bottom part strapped in, but it looks great, though. It looks really good. And Roboto is a big change. Like it's got similar colors and all that, but they decided to make it an actual larger size robot because in the original cartoons, Roboto was just a human-sized robot. Because the toys wanted to work around that for the molds, right? But this is fine. Like it's still got the same aesthetics. I know this is Roboto right off the bat when I saw it, so that's fine by me. They may work with this a lot. They might do more than the original. Who knows? But yeah, it looks great. Trapjaw, oh my god, look at this dude. I mean, look at the details of his face, the jaw, and everything. They didn't hold back. He looks freaky and nasty, man. And for his arm, I love that they made it a transforming arm that has multiple weapons inside of it. That's way better than, in the cartoon where he would detach something and then have something and attach it again kind of thing, Like, that's fine for the toy, but, for this I'm glad they, modernized that a little bit. Yeah, he looks amazing. Fisto, perfect. I mean, this outfit is very reminiscent, and he's got the big giant ass fist, and the actor looks the part. I mean, you couldn't ask for it. Like all these outfits are really detailed. They have that very Star Wars feel to it. In terms of it's very detailed, but very used and lived in. You know what I mean? Like they all look like that, and I love it, man. Like just so much to see. It's great. Oh my Tila, man. My cartoon crush. Tila was my cartoon crush in the '80s. Like growing up as a redhead, my experience as a redhead in school was absolutely horrible. I was like the only one, and I was treated horribly because of my hair color. But Tila was one of the few, characters in a cartoon or anything like that I saw, or movies where she had red hair, and it was a big deal. You know what I mean? So it was kind of a big deal to me. But on top of that, as a young boy, you have a crush on Tila. So I'm glad we get to see her with her hair up in the hairpiece early on, and then we get to see her with her hair down. And Camila, she looks absolutely gorgeous with red hair, and they gave her blue eyes. And the outfit, I think it looks great. Like they said they were up for the swimsuit look if they really wanted to go that route. But I agree with Travis Knight, the director, that no, you want to take them seriously as being a captain of the guard, someone who's actually going to be fighting, and they're not going to be fighting in those kind of outfits. This is a great compromise to modernize it a little bit better, and she still looks sexy and gorgeous. Yeah, I love it, man. I think she looks great, and the footage I've seen of her looks really, really cool. And this is Queen Marlena, obviously Adam's mom. For those who don't know, she's originally from Earth. She's actually, a human, and so yeah, clearly they're playing into the story where she's going to be sending Adam back to her home planet to keep him safe and to keep the Sword of Power safe. Yeah, so I'm not familiar with the actress, but she looks the part, looks great. Love the dress. That's really cool design. And then King Randor, he's kind of, kind of the dickhead father character, like not in a, he's not trying to be mean, but he's always just kind of being hard on Adam, all the time and not seeing him for who the man that he is, just that typical kind of character, right? And he has a history of Man at Arms with battles in the past and all that, But this visual looks very cool. Like they still have the classic crown, but not the cheesy looking crown. And I guess I don't know if that's armor or not, but very cool. Everyone has weapons. I love it. Like they have swords and guns. Like that's awesome, man. I love that they do that here. Now this is at first very strikingly different because there's so much white. It looks like, but for the sorceress, once she holds up her arms in her dress, it's all the classic, orange and blue, for the rest of the dress. And like I said before, she just doesn't have the feathery bottom to her, right? So once you actually see her whole visual, she looks great. You know what I mean? So I love what they did, and she's got like an almost bird like jeweled headpiece, and she has like white hair though, which is interesting because we never actually saw her hair as an adult as a sorceress. We did when she was younger and she had red hair, and there's a reason for that. For those of you who know, will know. But here they show her with white hair, which is interesting. I found that's an interesting detail. Now look at this, perfect. I like the outfit is absolute perfection as far as I'm concerned. They didn't go with the furry, trunks and the furry boots like they always have with the toys and the characters. I always felt that was kind of a goofy look. It just didn't make sense to me when they have all this tech and all that. They went with the more, like the leather loincloth, like a warrior typically would wear, like him, Skeletor, the others, that's what they typically would wear. And I like it. And they have their gauntlets on there. And this centerpiece is great. Like it's not quite, it's still the red cross symbol in the center there, but it's shaped a little bit different, right? And they make it like a jewel, like some kind of a jewel piece there. And there's you can't see it from here. Well, maybe you can. I don't know. Okay, you can't see it in this poster, but there's actually Eternian writing, I think, around the outside of it. Which is pretty cool. And I know there's fans on there, that have deciphered all that stuff. But yeah, I think his look is excellent here. Same thing, Alison Brie. Awesome casting for Evil Lynn. I love it. It's perfect for her. And I like that they kept the similar style, but they kind of went with the more Iron Maiden war, priestess warrior type look. So I love this update. It still very much looks like Evil Lynn, but they didn't have that full fan look because that does like a little goofy if you do it 1-to-1. So I like that they kind of did a sort of an in between, and her wand staff looks very cool. I love it. Love this look, and they also kept her white hair. Because she had white hair in the original series. So yeah, I'm really liking what they've done with her. Oh, this is probably one of my favorites. Like Triclops, this looks so damn cool. Like, look at him. Like, look at this visor headpiece. Like, how freaking cool is that? Way cooler than the original designs, And it's got like a very, like crystal jeweled eyepiece lens, if you will, and it does have the three of them with the different shapes and all that, and you can see the rifle that he has the three different shapes as well, so he can adjust it for the eyepiece for the sight on the scope, right? Which is pretty cool. Now some people are like, well, why would he need it? And it's kind of a semi legit point, but the idea that it's a combination of this and that together means he could be one heck of a sniper. Just go with it, guys. Don't overthink it. It's cool. I mean, it fits the character. It makes sense. And I love the hyper detail. All this very similar. And it looks like he's almost like more mechanical with his arms here, so that he's a little more, modified than the original character was. But this looks fantastic. I love this look, man. Spikor. Now this is a similar but almost semi-drastic change. But it's a more realistic look compared to the toy. A lot of these older toys, it's basically they just took a human body, the same mold for every damn character, and they just strapped on some kind of armor piece on top to make them different, whether it was Clawful or Spike or whatever like that, whereas here it's actually his proper, body that's doing, that has the whole look. So that's why he looks freakier in this case, right? And they have him with his arm there that has some kind of mace or something like that. I don't know if he can detach that or not, but again, that's a cool look, like for that villainous character. I think that's great. He wasn't like a big prominent character, but like it's cool to see some of these more unknowns, being shown here. Ram Man looks great. He doesn't have to be this ridiculously wide character like he was in the toy. You know what I mean? But the dude, like, he looks great. Like he has the part. I think he looks awesome. And it sounds like he's going to be a fun character. So yeah, the perfect look, and with and he's got the springy leg look. You know what I mean? So I love it. I love it. This is great. And Mecha Neck, same thing. They basically have him with a much more advanced mechanical neck that can go really far and move around and all that. And again, he looks more mechanical than he was in the original. In the original, they basically said on the 80s cartoon, it was so silly, man. It's like, oh, he had a bad neck injury, so I gave him a new mechanical neck to help him out. Like, what the? Are you kidding me right now? That's your backstory for him? Okay, sure, I guess. It's a very similar look, just less, not as triangular. With the headpiece. But it looks great. Yeah, this is fantastic. I love this detail. Very similar. And is that the last one? Okay, that's the last one. There you go. So yeah, those posters look great, man. Like lots of great selection of characters, and there's probably gonna be more than that. That are smaller that we won't see, or ones they don't want to, spoil until you see it. Who knows, right? And for the promotion that's been going on in this thing, I mean, like they had the TCL Chinese Theater all decked out as Castle Grayskull. How cool is that, man? Like that's wild. Like they had a really cool promotion for this going on, and they had like the altar with the sword out front and everything. Like that's cool, man. Like they've really been putting a lot into the promotion on this. And for this here, they had a world record show. It broke the world record for, I guess, the brightest drone show. If you've never seen these before, it's kind of like the one Spider-Man movie with I can't remember his name, the guy who controlled all the drones. But yeah, these are all drones in the sky that all fly with lights going on, and they move and animate to create cool animated shows and animated effects and all that. And in this case, they also use fireworks in the drones as well, which is really neat. But I guess this broke the world record. But I watched this show, and it's very, very cool. So that's pretty wild. I mean, look at that. That's pretty neat stuff, man. Like fireworks, like that's cool, man. I love it. That's super cool. All right, so now we have a whole bunch of featurettes. They're very short, so I'm just gonna kind of go through each of them in no particular order. They may be not totally out of whack, but we'll just watch them, and yeah, let's just go through all these.
Embodying He-Man has kind of been the greatest physical challenge of my life.
I have the power!
Nick has utterly transformed himself. He feels like the most powerful man in the universe.
Hats off to him, because there's a lot of work.
I forgot what he used to look like. Who is that man?
Working with Nick, we focused on building and maintaining muscle. It's a total body workout. He's lifting weights, doing cardio on top of that, getting stunt training.
I bear a responsibility to the fans. This is my home. I'm gonna fight for it.
He busted his ass, man. Like I don't care what anyone says.
Pushed to lift more, to work harder, to be like He-Man.
Is that all you've got?
I was pulling my punches.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like Thunder Punch He-Man that they're doing there or not. Who knows? Maybe they are. I don't know, man. So, yeah. I think he looks great. Yes, we could always say he could be gigantic. Not everyone's going to look like your Arnold Schwarzenegger or Olympian bodybuilders. You need actors. And you need someone to play the role as Adam and He-Man and everything that brings. So he he looks great. I think he's fine, especially as a young He-Man. I think it works really well.
This is a truly unique world that we've not seen on camera in this way.
Hang on.
It's vibrant and colorful.
Creating Eternia,
So beautiful.
it's surreal. It's a whole society. It has a culture, it has a history, it has architecture. So it required us to find some of the finest designers and craftspeople around.
Everything starts
That is
with
so cool.
Travis's vision, which is a rebirth of this incredible world.
We want audiences to feel immersed, and that can only come from the big screen.
The scale and scope is so huge. There's Snake Mountain
I
and
love Snake
Skeletor's
Mountain. That
throne
looks so-
of bones.
The throne and everything, all of this, the sets they've done here are so, like, the details matter so much with this kind of stuff, and they went all out. You know, they stuck to the originals, and it looks so good.
The universe shall quake in my shadow.
Whole breach. We had real practical sets.
The detail that goes into everything is incredible.
It's so rare that you step onto a film set and it's all there for you. When you see it come to life on screen, it's truly mind-blowing.
All right. Oh, this is I think it's the very first.
Masters of the Universe. It's such a fantastical world that we've not seen on camera in this way.
I grew up watching it in the 80s. The cartoon was out there. Being able to bring that to life in a modern way is quite special.
It's rare that you get to dive into a world that has so much lore and so many details.
I've known these characters, I've loved these characters for pretty much my entire life. We're honoring what came before, but making it new.
Eternia is a beautiful, vibrant place.
But it comes under threat from Skeletor.
The universe shall quake in my shadow.
Adam has to wield the sword of power to save his world and people he loves.
What am I supposed to do? Take the sword. Protect them.
When you're embodying a larger-than-life character like He-Man, you bear a certain amount of responsibility to the fans.
Nick's completely transformed. I forgot what he used to look like.
He feels like the most powerful man in the universe.
There's something for a younger generation, my generation. It's a film that everyone can go see together.
These action sequences are incredible and so much fun.
When you fall, this is your chance to stand tall. I have the sword!
You definitely see the difference between that first featurette, which came out quite a while ago, versus the most recent footage, which is definitely more finished scenes and whatnot. You know, like you could see more stuff, or some things are faster. You know, you could definitely. Oh, I like this one.
Skeletor. The Hordes.
Look at these guys. Like, look at it. Now, again, obscure character, you know, from one of the older comics, I think it was. Known character, but not really seen much. Well-known character, but super cool upgrade. And then this guy, oh God, Karg, I think is his name, from the live-action movie in the 80s, the Dolph Lundgren movie, you know. So they have a little bit of everything in there, you know. So seeing him was such a surprise, you know. It's like, oh, wow, okay. You know, and look at this throne, man. Like in Snake Mountain, this looks so cool.
These characters, they become so iconic.
The great villains from my childhood from the 80s. They were funny, or they were scary,
Beastman
or they
looks
looked
great.
cool.
CG, but he looks great.
Skeletor was all three of those things.
I shall kill you one by one.
He's just
They
an
nailed
all-round
his
bad
look
guy.
and animation.
Evil Lyn
can't
is
wait to
just
see those two
pure
fighting.
evil.
All these iconic villains bring the world to life. Goatman, Spikor, Trapjaw.
Sometimes bad people are the absolute most fun.
I am the villain. Does it feel good?
Now, is it realistic to have a skull face be able to do expressions like that? Of course not, but who cares? They're embracing that. That's what it was like in the original series, and it just works. You don't even question it. It looks fantastic. I love it, man. I love it. Now,
Sword of Power.
okay, this is awesome that they put this in it. For those of us who know the cartoon, there's that old transition that they have throughout episodes where they would have the screen flashing by, or they'd have the sword spinning and then, a flash of energy or something. That's exactly what they're doing here. I love that they put those kind of details that fans would pick up on. Like, look at that. I love it, love it, love it.
The Sword of Power is so iconic. It was so exciting getting to wield it.
You carry the power of Grayskull.
For the design of the sword, everything starts with my personal sketchbook and Travis's vision.
It was important that we honor what it looked and felt like 40 years ago.
It looks like the sword of power.
Here's my first sketch.
Hold on,
What
let's
it
get
looked
back
and
there
felt
for a
like
second.
40 years ago.
It looks like the sword of...
So, perfect example. You blink and you miss it. Mossman. Mossman's in there, like you wouldn't have seen him otherwise. And I think her name's Linda, I think. Again, another obscure character, I think from a newspaper, like comic article or some sort. I can't remember exactly what they said it was from, but very obscure reference. And that's the one you see in the trailer doing spinning around, shooting things, kind of like we thought it was going to be Cyclone. But no, very obscure character that, they're throwing everyone in there. But yeah, we got Mossman in there. How cool is that, man?
power.
Here's my first sketch. We ultimately went with the design from the 80s TV series.
That sword is mine.
We've got in total around 20 swords. It was the most important prop in the movie.
And it's all manufactured in-house.
They got the Eternia
That was a massive
writing
process.
on there.
Just finished this straight off the CNC machine, and now we're taking it to the hand finishing department to fine-tune the elements of it.
The Sword of Power is extremely heavy. I'm glad I don't have to be the one who wields it.
It's this mythical object. It has history. And when you hold the sword aloft, it makes you the most powerful person in the universe.
I have the power!
When they give me the Sword of Power on set, I'm good to go.
Yeah, the fact that they stuck to that design is so fantastic, man. They did a really great job of that.
Master of the Universe. It's really exciting getting to step into this world.
The scale is huge, and there's so much detail. I was just like, wow, this is incredible.
These iconic characters are larger than life.
The film really does deserve to be seen on the biggest screen possible.
I have the power!
Speaking of big screen, originally this wasn't showing on IMAX, but apparently now it's picked up a lot of recognition because it's gotten very, very positive initial reviews from people, or impressions. They can't give a full review yet, but everyone's had nothing but positive things to say, and so now it's showing on IMAX. Now, there haven't been any in my area. I'm in Ottawa, showing in IMAX yet, but you never know, because Star Wars was having a foothold on the IMAX screens for 3 weeks, but now Masters of the Universe is getting some of that instead. So, yeah, I mean, if you're lucky enough to see it in a big screen like that, this is totally the best kind of movie for that kind of experience.
Wielding the Sword of Power. It's so visceral.
When the lightning bolt comes down, you feel it.
Everyone's hollering. It's just a real audience experience.
Can't do this alone.
We're with you.
It's got heart. It's got extraordinary action.
Hang on.
We want people to feel the power that can only come from the big screen.
Take the sword. Protect them.
All right, Rebirth of a franchise, yeah. These are great. I love these.
It means an incredible amount to be involved in Master of the Universe.
It has such a rich history between the comics and the Filmation cartoon.
I grew up watching it in the 80s. Being able to bring that to life in a modern way is quite exciting.
I want the sword. Take it!
You can try. We're honoring what came before, but making it new.
This is your chance to stand tall.
The scope of it is incredible.
It's exciting and fun. It's the perfect kind of movie that parents can take their kids to.
Mr. Allen! It's Adam, dude. Hey, put your neck away.
There's emotion, there's action, and seeing it come to life in this way has been truly mind-blowing.
Now let me show you what a real man does with power.
The time for talk is over.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the power!
Yeah, they start playing some of the music that they've been sharing. The soundtrack is being done by Daniel Pemberton, I do believe, and some of the music also has performances by Brian May of Queen. A total 80s vibe, kind of like the Flash Gordon Queen music, you know, but other similar types of music are thrown in there, you know, and there's different. I think Darkness is doing a theme song as well. It's total 80s for when I listen to that. But the songs I've heard from Daniel Pemberton and Brian May are just fantastic, you know, and everyone's been praising the music, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Did I do the Sword Power already?
Legend said when Eternia was in its greatest need, a hero would step forth and wield the Sword of Power.
That sword is mine.
The Sword of Power is a vessel for ancient energy. It imbues its holder with incredible power.
Here's to the return of the sword and the champion.
It was so exciting getting to wield it for the first time.
It's got this very iconic design from the original series.
It looks like the Sword of Power. I grew up watching it in the 80s. To see the sword brought to life, it's a massive slice of nostalgia.
When he transformed into the sword held aloft, it was a moving experience for me because how much this world has meant to me over the course of my life.
I have the power!
Once they give it to me on set, they kind of have to steal the sword back off of me. Not the safest thing in the world.
So you can see some of those scenes are a little slower than the newer featurettes there. So, yeah, it's interesting. All right. Got 2 left.
Masters of the Universe. I watch the cartoons, I play with the toys, I read the comic books. And so to be here now really is a dream come true for me.
I like that.
Travis Knight, our director, had a highly detailed vision for this movie.
The universe shall quake in my shadow.
The characters, the story. Skeletor destroyed our world. It's all really, really distinct.
Ready, on, action!
He loves this world so much. It really means something to him, and I think that's essential for a movie like this.
Somebody wants to brawl. The scale is huge, and Travis is a visionary in terms of bringing it all to life.
I feel so lucky that we have such an extraordinary cast and crew.
This is my home. I'm gonna fight for it.
They've done an amazing job honoring what came before and making it cinematic and beautiful.
Yeah, when I heard Travis Knight was doing this, I was super happy because I loved what he did on Bumblebee. He has an animation background, so he's perfectly suited for this. And, you know, you could tell with especially the opening of Bumblebee that, you know, okay, this is a guy who understood the Transformers, you know, the 80s Transformers and all that, you know, just certain things that fans pick up on. They know that, okay, this guy gets it. So when I heard he was doing this, I was like, I bet you he knows Masters of the Universe very well. And sure enough, like, he's a huge fan of all the material. So I am absolutely super happy that he's doing this. Like, it's, you know, again, it's going to be silly and fun, but, you know, some camp as well to it. I know there's going to be Masters of the Universe fans that are, you know, want a more serious take on this kind of property. Even like going back to the toy line when the toys came out. There were those who loved the toy line and loved the theme and the backstory and all that. But then when the cartoon came out, they felt like it kiddified it. And I get that. I do, because to some extent it kind of did, right? But now you could clearly see they're making this for everyone, but it's also appealing to those adults. Kind of like the Netflix series did. The newer Kevin Flicks Masters Universe Revelation and Revolution series were totally made for adults like me, not kiddifying at all. And I love those series. I thought they were fantastic. Highly recommend them if you're a Motu fan. So I think this is going to be a good balance. I have total faith on what he's doing here. Don't take it too seriously. Just have fun with it.
He-Man, he's just so iconic.
He's an amazing fighter.
Super in shape and strong.
He's a big muscle-bound dude, but his transformation starts as a young kid.
I promise to make him into a man.
Prince Adam grew up on Eternia, this alien planet, but it comes under threat from Skeletor. Adam's parents send him away to Earth to save him. But he gets stuck living in corporate mundaneness for about 15 years.
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, it's not a good look for human resources.
Till his friend finds a way to bring him back home and save his world.
Hang on.
He's warm, he's kind, he's funny.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry, the sword's mine.
But he's also the most powerful man in the universe.
Take the sword and protect them.
Adam has to harness the power that he has within him to become He-Man.
You may have the power, but you're too scared to use it.
Trust me, I know how to use it.
So I know a lot of us were super worried when we first heard this was being made, and they gave a little synopsis about, that Adam is going to be on Earth and has to find his sword to get back to Eternia. And that's basically all we heard. All we thought was, oh, great, they're doing the same thing they did on the 80s movie, and we're not going to have Eternia, we're not going to have all the stuff and that from the original show and everything like that. But clearly that's not the case. And for what most people have said, at the most, it's maybe 15 minutes at the most that they're on Earth. And this is like a 2-hour and 20-minute movie. It's not a short movie by any means, which I'm very happy about. So that means we're going to get 2 hours of Eternia, which is fantastic. So I'm very happy about that, because sometimes they just cut these movies to 2 hours. They don't care how it affects the movies because they want to get as many showings as possible. I'm glad they didn't do that, so I'm super, super happy about that. So that's the last of the featurettes. Now, there are some very small clips that they've shared, so I'll play that. If you don't want to, they're not really spoilery, but if you don't want any spoilers of any sort, then you can skip this section. I'll have chapters in the video so that you can do that. So yeah, we'll just watch through those. They're very quick.
Can you come help me with this?
Like, look at the visuals of that. Damn, look at Tila in that outfit. Like, look at that shiny gold and all that. It looks great.
Whoa.
It is quite heavy, so if you
Oh
could just...
my god, yeah.
Your loincloth is in my... Sorry.
Fine.
Nice. Some adult humor being thrown in there. Nice.
So, how does it feel to be the mighty warrior?
All things considered, I feel pretty great. Not quite sure what happened to my shirt, though. Where are my pants? Do those come back, or I have to buy a new pair every time?
I love it I love that they mentioned that, because that's one of those things that's like, sometimes you don't think of that. It's like, oh yeah, what does happen to them when they come back? I think that's hilarious. Oh, I love it. All right, so Rotan battling.
Go out there and shoot some bad guys.
Okay.
Sky sled in the back.
I'm on it. Sky sled.
Not you.
What?
Definitely not you.
Man at Arms is injured possibly. So yeah, you've got Rotan's in the Freight Fighters, I think it is, and he's going on the Sky Sled, updated, realistic revision.
What the?
Okay.
See, I love that. You know, like some people may think, oh, that's being cheesy, or you get some guys who are very, they get super sensitive when they see their heroes or whatever, you know, not being these perfect people that are, you know, just perfect and great at everything. You know, that was the one thing the original cartoon, in my opinion, was kind of a flaw, that He-Man rarely had flaws. You know what I mean? And you didn't see him struggle very often. There were some episodes where they had it, but for the most part, he didn't have to struggle or learn anything. He just magically knew how to do everything, or had knowledge, or things like that. You know, and so I like this. It's an origin story, right? You know, so we're getting to see Adam, who's lived so many years on Earth, have to quickly adapt to all these things from his home planet. You know, he doesn't know how to do a lot of this stuff, you know, so, and yes, he transforms into He-Man and has these magical abilities, but he's still got to learn how to do certain things, right? You know what I mean? So they're kind of having some fun with that, and I think that's great. You know, that's what this is about for an origin story, you know, like, see him struggle with his strength or other things, who knows what, right? You know, so it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. This look is so great. And I love that they're actual guns, you know what I mean? Like, they're actually blasting each other.
Too many of them. The big army only means one thing.
RoboCop.
More targets.
Love it. Oh, he's doing the John Wick. Nice. I love the music. So the only thing about that scene that's, you know, it's like, wait a minute, dude, a bunch of your soldiers just got killed or taken out or like that, and you're cracking a joke, you know, but maybe it wasn't meant to be a full joke, you know, but don't take it too seriously, you know, it's still fun, you know. All right, so the last one, you know, now this is He-Man transforming, or the last part of him transforming, so if you don't want to see this, then watch the movie. I love it.
Oh wow.
I love that. I just the guitar, like, you know, kind of like a sort of like it's sexified, you know, muscular tough guy. You know, I love it. You know, like the whole vibe of what they're going with there. I think that's great. So yeah, I think that's the last of it, man. So yeah, I'll just let this go again, and yeah, so I guess, you know, that's a bunch of the stuff that I've collected since the last video, you know, and I just wanted to kind of talk about it, you know. Again, the first impressions, and they can't give full reviews because of the embargoes, but nothing but praise for this movie. They said it's super fun. It absolutely pays, you know, respect to the original source material and totally goes for that 80s vibe in the best way possible. And embraces the camp of that in the best way possible, you know, and it's done in a really, really, you know, great way. The visuals, in my opinion, look great. You know, people can be nitpicky about anything when it comes to visuals or CG or whatever like that. You know, I think it looks great. I think they absolutely nailed the look and all around. Props, characters, actors, the visuals of Eternia and everything else. It just looks great. So I can't wait. I'm going to see it later this week with my wife and at least one of my kids for sure. That being said, talk about a bad time to release this movie, because holy crap, this is the year of the YouTube director success stories. Earlier this year, you had obviously Iron Lung, with Markiplier. And then we just recently had Obsession come out from someone who I think is in their mid 20s, another YouTuber turned director, and that movie's a huge success. And then Backrooms just came out, which is a massive success. I took my kids to see that because that's their thing, right? And we had a great time. It was good. It was good. It wasn't amazingly fantastic, but it was good. And so my thing is and you also have the Amazing Digital Circus, which is coming out at the same time as this, and that thing is sold out like crazy. So I don't know, if this is going to be a big, box office smash. It may or may not be because, the Gen X crowd may not be as big as the younger crowd, you know what I mean, that are busy watching these other movies, right? So we'll see, either way, the movie's going to be fantastic. So I highly recommend going to see this movie, guys, in the theater while you can, because it's just the perfect kind of movie for that. Super fun, nothing but praise, and super colorful, lots of action. Just, yeah, I can't wait. I think this is going to be, one of those movies that would just fill my heart in all the perfect ways possible. I have a feeling it will, and I can't wait to watch that, and I hope you guys watch it. And I guess I'm just going to wrap that up, and yeah, so. I was playing it already, but, if you haven't done so, download my Masters of the Universe Collector's Edition virtual pinball game on Future Pinball BAM. This is totally embracing everything from the whole series, especially the 80s and all that. Super fun, tons of modes and all that. Rom did a great job building the original table many, many, many years ago, and I just took that, rebuilt it, and just exploded it into this massive game that embraces everything Masters of the Universe. So, yeah. Anybody can download it and play it. There's some stuff you have to do to get up and running, but I include all the install instructions with it. And yeah, super fun game, really fun in virtual reality if you have a fast PC to be able to do that. It looks absolutely amazing in VR, but you could play it in a cabinet or you could just play it on a single screen PC. Anybody can play it. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So thanks for watching this. I know it's a big video, but there's a lot of stuff to cover. And, let's hope this movie appeals to everyone in a way I hope it does to me. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.